Hi there, it's Tim with Far North Magic. Today I'm going to be looking at the first look at Wilds of Eldraine and seeing what is coming up. Uh, it's actually going to come up faster than I would think in my mind. Commander Masters comes out next week, but then Wilds of Eldraine is really only 5 weeks later, but really in a way 4 weeks later with pre-release being like that 4 weeks instead of five. And I don't really look at I look at pre-release as release until they go back to limiting the amount of product that you can get at pre-release. I don't really know why we're bothering doing a pre-release with everything and then a release, and then it just seems kind of silly to me. But this is what it is, I guess. So we're going back to Eldraine. It was 4 years ago for Throne, and I guess we get to see how the plane is recovering from the invasion, and kind of go from there. Okay. The art is pretty decent. That's pretty decent. And this kind of looks like the Disney castle. Interesting. So the first card that they show is Sleight of Hand. So this used to be a very expensive common that was used in, I guess, Pauper and also Modern, but I think it's dropped off. And then now it's here, so it'll probably get crushed down quite a lot. And the foils might be worth something, but then again, foils aren't really worth a whole lot. So I kind of almost think that they really gotta stop the foils, but you don't really have collector boxes then. So we got Restless Fortress as the next card. So it looks like they're doing another cycle of enemy manlands. They did a cycle of enemy mainlands in Battle for Zendikar that some saw play, but I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of surprised they haven't done more mainlands that are dual color, just because it's an easy way to develop new explore design space. I guess this also has the defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life when it attacks. So that probably makes up a little bit for the 4 mana activation. I would have probably wanted to see this not be 4 mana for a 1/4. Just doesn't seem that impressive in a way, but this is what it is. We got characters, so I guess we're getting some new characters. So we got Talon, the Kindly Lord, so it's a fairy noble, and I guess it will be interesting if there's a concentration of mana cost, power, and toughness, because that could be very punishing. Or if it's going to be a diverse mix of cards that get used, and then it wouldn't really do a whole lot. We got Ashiok, still a planeswalker. I wonder if they'll like be limiting planeswalkers down a lot just because they like desparked a lot of them. So this one is got a static ability and 3 other abilities. I don't know, 5 mana walkers are kind of, I don't want to say suspect, but suspect for like high pre-order pricing. Like, I think the whole thing is you have to be very skeptical of any pre-order pricing, but planeswalkers have been like one of the most exploited ways to lose money. Not to gain money, just to get. Might as well just light your wallet on fire. Kellen. I don't know who that is. Interesting. They also have Willen, Rowan, Kenrith still, but they're not walkers anymore. They're back to being just creatures, I guess. So that will be interesting how good those creatures are. Like the desparked walkers in Aftermath were kind of interesting. Like a lot of them weren't crazy good or anything, but a couple of them were pretty decent. We also have the Tough Cookie. It is a 2 mana 2/2. That's a food golem. It enters, create a food. You can make your non-creature artifacts into 4/4. So like, I actually think that's not bad because it's not a tap ability. So like late game, if you end up with a whole bunch of treasures or foods or I don't know what other artifact tokens that aren't creatures, maybe you can like dump a bunch of mana in and like pull out the victory. I also like that it's not a tap ability because you could just play this and then do the ability multiple times in one turn and then like hopefully like finish the game. And you can also sack it because it's a food itself. We got some booster fun. So they're doing a few different fairy tales. I'm not too big into the lore overall, but I actually didn't mind how Throne kind of felt and like the adventure ability, well, adventure mechanic, I guess, was pretty decent because it gave you stuff to do early and later. It also just made it so that your deck had stuff to do all the time. That's interesting art. What do we got here? We got, holy cow, cake with a bunch of gummy worms. Yikes. Okay, then we got our showcase lands. I almost would rather these. Oh, I really don't like them when they do secret lair lands, but Um, I guess it's just the lands are kind of. I don't know if it's like over the lands being full arts in every set, but I guess it's just I don't really care that much because I'll just play the same basics they play and try not to worry about getting the new basics that get outdone the next set or two. They're still doing the storybook frame, the storybook cards, so I wouldn't think they could skip this mechanic because it worked so well last time. So this is a 2-mana card. You can make for 2 mana have a person mill 4 cards, and then it comes into play. Well, it's a static. Power and toughness equal to number of creature cards in all graveyards. So it if there's empty graveyards, it won't survive. But I guess that's why you have to mill first to make sure that something's there, and then it could grow over time. But definitely interesting that then we got some borderless versions of the fortress and also the Ashiok, so that's interesting. Then we also have a Moonshaker Cavalier. So this is an interesting card because it's a big mana finisher, basically. If you have a bunch of creatures out already, kind of like a white Crater Hoof. Gives your creatures flying, so that definitely could be better than Trample in some instances. Probably a lot worse than others. But definitely interesting. They also made it the full art promo for the store championship right here. So those tend to be pretty expensive if they're of a good card. So be interesting to see how this one fares. But so then they also did a bonus sheet for this. So they did Strixhaven with Mystical Archive, Brothers War with Retro Artifacts, and now they're doing enchantments. Be interesting to see what they do next, because like they've got spells out of the way, enchantments out of the way, artifacts out. I guess they could do a creature one. And then I don't know. They already kind of did lands with the box toppers. Like I don't think they could do lands. By themselves. Even creatures would be, well, there'd be enough creatures they could just, I guess the Multiverse Legends was, I forgot about that. Multiverse Legends was creatures. So like, I don't know. It's interesting that they decided they need to do another push with another group of a bonus sheet. So here we get Smothering Tithe again. After it's in Commander Masters. So maybe that's why they moved it to Mythic, to make it so that it would be a little less opened, and then you're not devaluing it into the ground. Like Smothering Tithe had like extra supply even at the beginning, because it had supply in the set of Ravnica Allegiance. There was no collector boxes, but Tithe was also in the guild kit for Orzhov, and it was also in the Fairy Brawl deck. So like it had a bit of extra supply, not a full thing, but it wasn't just like, oh yeah, it's just a rare in Ravnica Allegiance. Although like Ravnica Allegiance really didn't sell that great, because like there was one of the end of year sales, they were flushing it at like $100 Canadian, which I know isn't like the greatest of price if you look in the States, but in Canada it's like, that's like the craziest price for the most part, like getting it at 100 for a set that's not completely terrible. So it's interesting that they're doing Smothering Tithe again here. I think it's not terrible. Like, so they're doing 63 Enchanting Tales. You get them in not standard legal as the way with these bonus sheets. So here's Greater Oromancy. That's another really solid reprint. It's always held like a very high price because it was like only Shadowmoor, I think. Maybe on the list, but I still think only Shadowmoor. Maybe on the list, I don't know. But definitely really solid reprint. Always been like, at least as of late, like really too expensive. I think like that's the other thing. Like, yeah, a lot of these cards will get new reprints and go down, but like that doesn't mean it's gonna go down to $5 and nobody's gonna buy it. Because if it gets down that cheap, people are gonna just back up the truck and clean out all the stores if it ever got like that cheap. So Greater Oromancy, definitely a good shot for reprint. I was actually surprised Greater Oromancy wasn't in Commander Masters or even in the enchantment deck, because that would have made a lot of sense to me. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, I think one of the reasons why Commander Masters got such a bad rap is the price is insane, but then the it's just missing like a few cards. Like if Greater Oromancy was in it, if as we go forward, if Rhystic Study was in, if like we can just look at this, if Necro was in, and if they just put like one card per like if they put like three or four more cards in, I think a lot more people would be super excited, because like I don't think people absolutely hate the set. They just think like, oh, they jack the price and then it's like slightly worse value than we're hoping. But like even if they just put Dockside back in Commander Masters, like a Dockside really held up and such. So I think it's just the pacing of reprints also. Like Rhystic Study was being paced out really well with, okay, it was in I forget what it was in. It was in like Jumpstart 22, Jumpstart 20. It was in Mystery Boost, but I think they pulled it out of Mystery Booster after a certain run. Other than that, because the art was the Therese Nielsen art, so that isn't a source of them. But there was Jumpstart 22, Jumpstart 20. there was oh, I guess Jumpstart had a problem. No, Jumpstart, I don't know if they pulled it from Jumpstart too. I guess those weren't very good sources, but there was a lot of Jumpstart. And then 22 Jumpstart was not bad for at least the first part. Before that, it was kind of scarce, but it wasn't. But like that's the thing. Like I think they can pace the reprints better, and then it's not gonna crush everything to 5 cents. Like let everything get super expensive and then crush it down. They need to like be more moderate. Like if it's like, okay, well, we want to reprint, like if a card's out for 10 years, you don't want to like go, okay, like we printed the card and then we're not going to do a reprint till year 9, and then you do like, oh yeah, year 9 the card's like a $40 card or $50 card or something, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, like now like year 9 we're going to reprint it 3 times, so now it's going to be $5, and you'll just piss everyone off that like their card that they paid a bunch of money for becomes nothing. So we got Necropotence. I do find it interesting that it seems like myth. Oh, that's interesting that Aggravated Assault's a rare. I would have thought that would have been a mythic. Because I think it was a mythic. Well, I guess it was on a secret lair, so that doesn't count. And then I think it was in a box set product. I don't remember. It's tough to keep up with all the different places. Like Necro was in the Secret Lair Countdown kit. And then last, and then it was in one of the master sets. It was actually in a couple of the master sets. So I was always kind of surprised how it like held pretty crazy money. Because I remember I opened Necro out of Iconic Masters, I think. The last one I opened. And I was pretty surprised at how much it was. So this is going to push it down quite a bit, but definitely a card that is pretty powerful. So, and then we have another reprint of Doubling Season. So I think this is the thing. They had Doubling Season in 20, Double Masters 20, and then nothing in 21, nothing in 22, but then yeah, you let Doubling Season recover, but you could have put, instead of double, back to back, Commander Masters, and then a month later in Wilds, they could have done something in the middle, or maybe they could have put Doubling Season in, I don't know, Jumpstart 22 or something, a product that's not, or maybe they change up mystery boosters and put it in there, because that wouldn't crush it completely, because some of these products are either going to get opened less or are going to just the speed, the amount that gets fed into the system is significantly less. So if they made with Jumpstart, if you make it the rare, the one of the super hard packs to get, it's one in 5 boxes to get one, and that's a very not very hard, because it's a lot lower end product, but it's still how many people are gonna open 5 boxes to get a doubling season. Like, I don't think that many. Like, I know I opened a lot of Jumpstart over time, but that's because I'm just stupid, I think, sometimes. And then we got Prismatic Omen. I wouldn't have thought that would have been that rare. And I don't mind that art. That art's pretty cool. So this set has all the regular products. So it's got the set booster, the collector booster, the draft booster. I almost think they should just change the draft booster to a 24-pack box, drop the price, and then put like some like prize packs in, and like make it so that boxes are like not $80-$90 again, but they're only like the 24 packs. Like, it wouldn't work out exactly the like proportional in math. Like, they could like probably sneak out a few extra dollars, but I think that's kind of a better way to kind of do things. But I don't know. I guess, like, I also like the 36-pack draft box because, like, in theory, if you get like, at least in Canada, it's really rough. Like, you can maybe get people to throw in $20 and then get like 8 people to come together and like do a draft at somebody's house, and then have the 12 packs as prize support. This also has 2 commander decks. So you get so they're doing the just 10 new cards, 2 foils, and the collector booster sample pack. So there's a fairy deck. It's blue black, and then a white green deck. That I don't know. Maybe it's humans. Maybe it's just counters, because buff your creatures would be like counters, I would think, or maybe pump spells, but that probably isn't it. They're not doing Jumpstart with this set, which is a success, because like that was just most garbage product, the set Jumpstarts. I really hope they don't do those still. Like, there was a store I saw that was trying to get rid of their Brothers War Jumpstart, and it was $40 Canadian. And I thought long and hard about that, but I passed because I'm like, I don't want to throw away $40. Because it'd be probably just throwing it away. So there's the set symbols for the sets. In a few weeks, in a week they're doing the story. They're doing previews in like a couple weeks. And then just have to see. The pre-release is the 1st of September. I guess they do open house the week later. Then there's MagicCon Las Vegas near the end of September. Store Championship. That's a pretty big window for that, so like, I guess like check with your store when they're doing that, because those promos are pretty cool. So I guess check back at Daily MTG to see more stuff. The one thing I was surprised that they didn't show in this article they showed over here was with the Enchanted Tales bonus sheet, they didn't show all the details with it. So it is 63 cards. It's in all the different packs. It's not standard legal, all the normal stuff. But they're doing 60, so it's out of the 63 cards, they're doing 20 cards that have anime treatments by Japanese artists. So they're showing 6 of them. So here is the Greater Oromancy, I think. Yeah. So some of these are pretty cool. I actually like how they have it in English, because a lot of the time I don't want to have cards with foreign language if I forget what they do. So here's Greater Oromancy, which is pretty cool looking art. And then we got Smother and Tithe. I wonder how common these will be. Then Ristic Study here. That's a pretty cool looking one. And then Necropotence. And then Aggravated Assault. And then the Doubling Season with all the goose heads on the pile of eggs. So apparently the anime cards can be found in the same slot. In Japanese boosters are going to be Japanese language, while other languages will have English language versions. So I think that's different than like the Strixhaven ones, right? The Strixhaven Japanese like special art ones were in Japanese, right? So I think that's an improvement, at least for me, because I didn't want to get a bunch of cards I couldn't remember what they were. The other thing that they're doing with this is they're doing another foiling, I guess. They're calling it the confetti foil. So it'll be interesting to see how these end up turning out, because it is like, I think that they have to do innovation, but I think it also gets crazy with how many different foilings there are, because like nobody remembers what they are. So definitely interesting to see that they are making a big push on the next set. And it'll be interesting to see how many people are more excited for Wilds of Eldraine more than Commander Masters, and if that will be like, okay, well, I didn't spend money on Commander Masters, now I'm going to spend a bunch of money on Wilds of Eldraine because I think it's better. And I think it will be like seem just better because of the proportional amount of money. But I guess we'll see how the other cards are, because like they seem to be coming out like really heavy with the big cards for the Enchanted Tales subset. So I wonder how, like, I don't imagine they're going to be pushing the main Wilds of Eldraine set too crazy for power level, just because they have the bonus sheet to lean on for value. And I guess the other interesting thing will be how many slots the Enchanted Tales takes up of the collector booster, because like on some of these sets with the bonus sheets, you get very low amounts of cards from the main set. Like I remember, I think it was Brothers War that I had hardly any rares and mythics in my collector box. Like it was like 1/3 of what like other sets were. And I'm like, I wanted to get some cards from the regular set. Like, yeah, the artifacts are fine and the commander cards are fine, but like, geez, I need some cards from the real set. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the composition of the packs are, and to see what the other strength of the Enchanted Tales cards are. Because like if this is the big 5 or 7 hits, and then the rest is just crap, then like I think that will change people's thinking on it. I'm not thinking that all the Enchanted Tales cards are going to be big bangers, because like they have to put some junk in to balance it out. But the Enchanted Tales might actually get me to buy a box or two more than I was thinking. I don't know. I'll have to think about it, and probably I'll just wait till they show more stuff, because like I just don't want to get burned too badly. Because I like ordered one collector already to open, and one for the shelf, and then yeah, so I guess that's where I'm at. I'm kind of a bit more excited for Wilds than I was before, because I wasn't sure if they'd like just push the power level too crazy and have to ban everything again, or if they were going to do something like this bonus sheet thing. So I don't know if these confetti guys are... doesn't look like they're numbered. So it'd be interesting to see how this fares, and how low, like how high the drop rate is for the confettis, because I find that interesting that they didn't do them as numbered cards again, because they did like the Multiverse Legends and the Retro Artifacts with numbering. So maybe they'll show us that they're doing numbering later. I don't know. But I would think that would be something that they'd tell us right away, to be like, okay, look, there's numbered cards. Buy all of this for more, because you'll want them. I don't know. I think the problem with a lot of it is a lot of the pure collectors have quit collecting because it's not really worth it. And the numbered cards would be perfect for the pure collectors, because like they'd be a tough hit, they'd be something that they could put in binders and show off to people and be proud of. But then like there's nobody here for that, and I guess like 60 different cards is kind of a lot also. So, but I guess we'll just have to see going forward, and hope that this set's a little more well received for what game stores are left from the aftermath of Commander Masters. I guess my question is are you more excited about Wilds of Eldraine, and are you buying any products of Wilds of Eldraine because of this info, or are you sitting on the sidelines doing singles still, or are you just not buying anything, just proxy all day long? I'd like to know. And holy cow, this went on forever. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and take care. I hope to see you next time. Bye.